It's been a while since the last update on these vivariums, so today we'll take a closer look at how they're doing, and I'll go over some lessons learned now that I've been running them a few months. And yeah, we'll just get in here and see what's going on. So I've just fed the frogs, and so they're coming out to get their little snack of fruit flies. And this one here is the bumblebee dart frog, and he's looking around for those flies. Really cool little animals. They're starting to get a lot more used to me. Since I first put them in there, they were a little bit shy, but yeah, they're starting to come around, and they'll come out now and feed and explore the area while I'm here. And then over on this side, before he disappears, that is the blue Azorius dart frog. Also really cool. And they always seem to twitch that back toe when they're hunting flies. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they seem to do. See if I'll get that fly. Just thinking about it. Oh, I think I missed it. But anyway, pretty cool little guys. And yeah, I really enjoy watching them. But let's take a step back and take a look at the vivariums. I did a build series on these, and this will be part 7 and kind of the final chapter to that series. I'll still be doing updates on these, but I wanted to do some a recap of some of the things that I learned while I built these, some of the things I think went well, and other things maybe I would have changed. So first up on the selection of tanks that I used for these vivariums. These are just standard 10-gallon vivariums, which I stood on end and created them in there. And there are 2 of them. So I got one on that side and one on these sides. They look like they're one unit, but it is 2 separate tanks there. So those frogs cannot interact. There's the glass pane between them. So one thing that I've learned is that the frogs are mainly a land-based animal, at least these poison dart frogs. They will climb up into here sometimes on some of these ledges, but for the most part, they seem to like the floor. So if I was going to do something different, I would have probably, instead of like this portrait orientation, sort of done in a landscape. I think a longer aquarium with more ground area would be better for these guys. So I may upgrade these guys in the future. Maybe this summer I'll build some different containers for them to live in. Also, you notice they are not mixed. Apparently that's a big no-no when you're keeping dart frogs. You don't want to mix these different species together. I think the reasons are, they could not get along very well, and there could be some crossbreeding, which is really frowned upon. So I've done the right thing and just kind of kept them separated. So yeah, if you're thinking about making a vivarium, definitely consider doing one that's more long than it is tall, because they do like to explore the floor of the aquarium more than they do like climbing up into plants. And it'll also give you more room to put multiple frogs in one aquarium. You can keep the same type in there. You just don't want to mix the different species. Another thing which I would probably have done different, and it works okay for me, but I made this out of plexiglass, the door and the bottom and all. The bottom is fine, but the door itself I made out of plexiglass, and since you do need to keep these things rather humid, I have noticed that the plexiglass has started to warp somewhat, and I should have probably, I don't know if you can tell that there, but it is warped a bit, and it's happened on both of the aquariums, and that means that I don't get a real great seal. Focus, a great seal at the edges here anymore, so the fruit flies can crawl up there and get out if they don't just get eaten by the frogs right away. So probably it would have been a better idea to make these out of glass. That way I would not have had that problem. So if I do something similar in the future, I would definitely consider that. Figure out a way to mount glass onto here instead of plastic. Using the acrylic did allow me to drill these drain holes though, which I think was a plus, because you do have to mist these guys pretty much every day, mist the terrarium or vivarium. And you want to keep the humidity pretty high. They like it between 70 and 100% humidity, which you can't really tell right now since plants are there, but that's around 80%. So which means you will be misting this quite a bit, and water will seep down into the drainage layer. And eventually the water does rise up, and you don't want it to keep rising and just saturate the soil. So once it does get up past the drain here, I could just open this up. I put a piece of airline tubing on there, and I could drain the water out into a bucket. And I've already had to do that before. So that's definitely a good idea, is to have a way to drain the vivarium. Aside from that, I mean, that would probably be the only two things that I would consider doing, is making a more horizontal vivarium, and larger, of course, just to give me more options with plants. And I think it would be cool to put some, water feature in there or something, which just wasn't enough room inside of these little 10-gallon vivariums. As far as care and feeding, they're really easy to take care of. Like I said, I have this misting bottle, which I spray into there every day to keep everything nice and humid. And then I eat these fruit flies. I feed them these little melanogaster fruit flies. And every couple of weeks, you need to split the culture. The flies are in here reproducing. After about a month, it starts to get pretty nasty in there. So you have to take some of the flies out of there, create a new culture. It's pretty easy to do. I'll probably do a video on this at some point. And then you'll have a new population of flies. And, you just bang some of them out into a cup and dust them with some calcium supplement. And then you can feed your frogs with them. So it's pretty simple. I mean, making these takes just a few minutes, and you only have to do it once every couple of weeks. So the care is really, really easy with these guys. And another nice thing is, and I'm going to be comparing this to like a reef tank. Once you set up a reef tank, that's pretty much it. It's staying there. It's a big hassle to move it. But these, as you notice, I have them on my desk now. They used to be downstairs. I decided I wanted the frogs up here while I'm working. It was no big deal. Just pick up this vivarium, bring it upstairs. It's not heavy. It can be transported easily. So that was kind of nice. So yeah, so that's, I guess, the update on here and kind of the lessons that I've learned with it. Definitely is a cool thing to set up. These frogs are really, fun to watch, and as they get used to you, they're, not too shy anymore, and they will come right up to the glass, and they'll come right out as soon as it's feeding time, to get their meal. And yeah, so I guess that's about it for this video, and I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.